I'm at an interesting point in my life right now. I am 22 years old. I live at home with my mother, and I work 2 jobs. As I enter the new year, I can't help but contemplate where I am and what it is I really want for my life. Historically, I've struggled with my priorities, and oftentimes I have not taken care of what's important. I think my upbringing has really set me back in many ways as an adult. I never really had to work for what I wanted, and because nobody ever really taught me the importance of taking care of the little things, I simply ignored them. As the years went by, without any real goals or standards set for my life, I became a stranger to myself, and I had no clue who I was. I've always struggled with the idea of identity. I kind of just thought it was what interests you had, the friends that you chose, the job you work. But now, as I try to figure out who I really am and what my identity is, I see identity is a culmination of your effort and your choices. Everything's a choice. If you make the choices that align with what you want, you will make it to where you want to go. The difficulty for me about this concept is I don't necessarily know where it is I want to end up. How can you start your journey when you don't even know where the destination is? We live in an instant gratification culture where everything you could ever want is at your fingertips. We're surrounded by a sea of information and stimulus, and I am nothing but a direct byproduct of this environment. I always prioritized comfort and pleasure over anything else, and to be honest, it ruined my life. If you don't spend the time to take care of yourself and do things you don't necessarily want to do, it won't end well. I don't have many accomplishments in my life that I value tremendously. I never really applied myself to high school. I fell flat on my face in college, and now I work a 9 to 5. When I say I do not value these accomplishments, that's not to say that I'm ungrateful for these things in my life. I just don't think I've contributed anything of real value to the world just yet. I've always wanted to be somebody. I've always dreamt of doing something that makes a real difference in the world. But the reality is that it's a lot harder than it seems. For a while, I just went through the motions, waiting for something to happen, or for the golden opportunity to fall in my lap. But it never happened. After being thrown on my ass by the real world, I quickly learned that nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to save me. Talk is cheap, and nothing changes if nothing changes. So, rather than continue talking about my problems that used to haunt me, let's talk about one principle of my life that has changed everything. The most important principle in my life right now is maintenance. No matter how I'm feeling, what is going on beyond my control, no matter what, I try and focus on the little things. Take my job, for example. I am a maintenance man. It's not my job to change the way gardening is done, to increase company sales by a certain margin by a certain time. It's not my job to get caught up in the big picture. I simply need to show up, tend to customers, spend time working on small projects, and do my best. And after some time, I've seen how my efforts have added up. To apply the principle of maintenance in my own personal life, I must remember that it is not possible to lose 50 pounds in a week. It's not realistic to expect instant success after posting one video, and it is certainly not a reflection of my efforts how other people perceive me and my accomplishments. I stated earlier that I was just waiting around for an opportunity to fall in my lap, and there was a time in my life where one did. When I was living in Chicago, just going through the motions, an exciting and new prospect emerged in my life. I quickly realized that by not taking care of myself and by not prioritizing the little things, I was incapable of holding on to the opportunity. It's easy to say that you're a special case, that the world has wronged you and you just aren't meant to achieve your goals. There's 1,000 reasons why things didn't work out. So, if you feel like giving up on what it is you actually want, by all means go ahead. The world around you is designed for just that. It's designed to make you feel comfortable living vicariously through others while you take a backseat to your own existence. What isn't so easy is to defy the odds and to push through, despite what your fears are telling you. The reality is, you're never going to be ready. There will never be a moment where you wake up and realize your whole life's been a lie. And even if that moment does eventually happen, it's probably later than you hoped. So, I encourage you to ask yourself what it is you want, and what it is you feel is holding you back from getting there. For me, I need to stop dreaming about the future and focus on the little things. I need to find the joy in the process, to learn how to take care of myself so that when the next opportunity comes, I'm ready for it. After all, how can I expect to make a difference in the world if I can't even figure out how to make a difference in my own life?